So today I want to talk about a novel that on the surface might not look like a book that a non-fiction reader would pick up, but I would argue that this book teaches you as much about psychology and human nature as any case study. And that book is Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. Vladimir Nabokov was a Russian-American writer known for his razor-sharp use of language and for exploring the complexity of memory, identity, and desire. Lolita was published in 1955, and this is his most famous and also his most controversial work. When it came out, it was banned in several countries for its subject matter, an older man preying on an underage girl, but over time it became recognized as one of the most defining novels of the 20th century. Not because of its shock value, but because it shows how obsession, manipulation, and self-deception actually works. So I want to talk a little bit about this book and what it's about without giving you any spoilers. The story is told by Hubert, a well-educated, charming European living in America, who becomes dangerously fixated with a young girl that he nicknames Lolita. Everything we hear in this book comes through Hubert's own voice, and that's what makes this book so fascinating. He's clever, he's witty, he's persuasive, but he's also deeply unreliable. The book has you constantly asking, what is the truth and what is the story that Hubert tries to sell you? And this is where the psychology comes in. Lolita is a great case study of how people rationalize destructive behavior. Hubert uses humor, intelligence, and emotional appeal to justify himself, not just to others, but to himself. And the reader at times almost gets swept away in it. Nabokov forces us to experience manipulation in real time, which makes us painfully aware how language and charisma can cloud moral judgment. For readers who usually stick to nonfiction, here is why reading Lolita is important. It teaches you how to spot manipulation. It's a crash course in critical thinking, in questioning the storyteller's motives, and in seeing how easily charm can mask cruelty. And beyond that, it's one of the finest examples of narrative voice ever written. A book that shows not only a story, but how stories shape us. So, who should read it? Actually, anyone interested in the darker corners of human psychology and human nature should read this book. It's excellent in that way. If you ever read psychology books about self-deception or about how people justify harmful behavior, Lolita gives you a living, breathing example, so vivid that it almost feels like a case study. It is not an easy book, it's certainly not a comfortable read, but it is a powerful reminder that the biggest lies are usually the ones that we tell ourselves. And the most dangerous storytellers are usually the ones that are the most charming. I found these books extra disturbing since I have a daughter myself, so it hit pretty close to home. I'm glad I read this classic. I hope you do too. I come to this conclusion over and over again. When I pick up these classics, these time-tested books, and they have ties to the interest that I have in psychology, human nature, all that. It's almost always worth my time, spending the time with these books that just stood the test of time. This is one of those books. I can say I enjoyed every single page of it, but I'm super glad that I went through this whole narrative and this story, and it's also exceptionally well written. Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov is a Booklab recommendation. And if you ever gotten any value or picked up any books because of viewing Booklab, then please like and share and subscribe. It really helps me reach more people with great books, and that's an important thing because people should read more books, right? I'm back with more book reviews quite soon. I have in my nonfiction pile, I'm going back to some more shorter personal development books that I haven't picked which one, so if you have any recommendations, let me know in the comments. And I also read another classic, Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand, which is also a fantastic book, but it's this thick, so it takes me a while to get through. Let me know what you're reading this week in the comment, and see you next week with more book reviews. Björn out. Thank you.